Hello, hi my good people. I hope you are good. I'm also fine. So welcome back to my YouTube channel. And we're going to have a conversation because there are people who sometimes you look at them and they have what we are praying for. Like they have your prayer points. So you find that there are those who have what you're looking for. And basically you find that there are people who you're like, you and your konayo, it's my prayer point, and we're going to discuss about memories because there are things that money cannot buy, and you can only remember the memories that you built. So there are people who they are old and they have nothing to talk about their youthful lives. There are those who they feel like, oh no, when I was young, when I was a young mom, I used to take my kids out, and when the kids are there, they will have a conversation with their mother or their father or their parents because of the things that they were doing together. But most of us, we don't have anything good that we can remember when we are raising our family, when we are growing up. And I remember that this client who came and he was like, I was asking him, what is that one thing that you can remember when you are growing up as a child that gives you good memories? And he was like, I can't remember anything, by the way, because I went to boarding school when I was young. I was in I think class 3, and I grew up in a boarding school. I didn't have time to bond with my parents. So this kid, but the time I was meeting him, he was around 22, and he was going through a lot of depression, a lot of addiction and anxiety and all that. So most of us, we want to look for memories that we did not build when we were growing up. So today I want to encourage us that I know we are chasing the bag. I know we're chasing the dollars, we're chasing the monies, but at the end of the day, I want us to enjoy the destination. Like, the thrive is in the chasing, in the working on something, and you are chasing this, you want to build this house. But once you have built the house, your brain goes back to normal, and you see that house as something that is not even, like, you don't have that vibe again, and you don't feel like that motivation compared to when you are anticipating to have that house. And there's something called hedonic treadmill, where our brain will always normalize things after some times. And that is why even when you go through pain, reach a point where now you feel like it's beyond me, and you move on and you heal, because our brain has a tendency of taking things back to where they are. So today, as we talk about memories, what memories do you have with your children? What memories do you have with your parents? What memories do you have with your spouse? When you are sitting down, kids have grown, they're out of the house, or just you and your spouse, you are old now. What are some of the conversations that you look back and laugh and be like, hey, you remember that time when you are doing this, when you are doing that? Kitambo used to have this album of photos, and people used to look at it and be like, hey, you remember this time, this was you when you were born, this was your younger sister, this was this and that. But nowadays, even the albums are not there because we're using our phones. So what memories do you have? What pictures do you have in your mind that when your kids come, when your grandchildren come, you can tell them that this used to be your mom, we used to do this, we used to do that? Because nowadays you find that all of us on our phones, and we don't even have time to build that memory. And I was reading one of the books, and this guy was saying that there's a time he wanted to play with the only child he has. So he was married, and they were having one child, and this daughter came and told him, Dad, can we have something to play around? And they choose a certain game. So this game, it was about everyone choosing a name. And this guy was saying, it really pains me when my daughter was standing in front of me and asking me, Dad, which name have you chosen? But I was not even listening to her. I was busy answering my mails. I was busy looking on my phone, the Facebook, the WhatsApp, what is trending. And he was saying that after like 5 minutes, when he was looking up, the kid was not there. And one day, they were having just a challenge, and they asked the child, "What's your wish?" And the child was like, "I wish I could talk to animals. When Dad and Mom, when you are busy on your laptops, on your phones, I wish I can talk to this dog." And this guy said that was the last time for me to use my phone when I'm having time with my daughter. And he was saying I had to schedule my work. I had to schedule what time to answer my mails, what time to answer the emails, and what time to have fun with my daughter. And those are the memories that we build. And I always say, if you're a staying home mom, don't feel like, I'm jobless, of course everyone wants something to do, but at the end of the day, you are doing a very, very great job. One of my sisters, she's like taking care of her kids. She's working from home, and I love the setup of that marriage, because she's always there with the kids, taking care of the kids. The kids will come from school, will find her there. What do you want? And I love the bond, because at the end of the day, these kids are growing, and one day we'll not have them in our homes. They'll be doing their own stuff. So we cannot have that memory that we did not work on. So I plead with us today, just purpose to build memories with your children, purpose to build memories with your spouse, purpose to build memories with your siblings, because a time will come that will not even be together. I know some of us, we don't want to think about the past, because the past brings a lot of pain, but we can change things, we can do things different. It is so sad nowadays that there are people who they are married but they are lonely. In this sense, you find that one lady was telling me, Oyamo, it's so hard that I'm wearing a ring and I'm so lonely. It's so hard that I'm Mrs. So and so, but I'm so lonely. And she was telling me, now, nobody, hakuna mtu anakukatia huko nje, hakuna mtu anakupeleka dates, hakuna mtu anakuuliza sasa madam and all that, because now you're married. But at the same time, you're so lonely. So she was telling me it's a dilemma, because you're like, will I spend the rest of my life like this with this person who they're always on their phone, they're always working, they're always traveling, they don't have time for the family, they're from one meeting to another. When they come home, they're just coming to take a shower and to change, and they're catching the next flight and all that. And she was telling me, I'm so lonely, but people see me as someone that is really enjoying life because everything is there. But most of the time, my phone is my husband, and we're just laughing about it, because it is that bad. So you find that sometimes you're in this environment and people see you as somebody who is doing life, chopping life with big spoon, doing well, but in the real sense, you're really struggling. In the real sense, you wish you are like the other person, and there are no memories that you are building with this person. And when this person comes home, you are two strangers, because you are used to your phone. You are used to just laying there on the couch and scrolling TikTok and scrolling, I don't know where, the shorts for YouTube. So when this person comes, it now becomes like a burden, like siaende too. And she was telling me, I'm in that moment where if he's not around, I'm okay, because now my mind registers there's no one here. The same way, if you are single, your mind registers that you are single. So there are some things that your mind and your physical or your biological or your spiritual will not demand, because your mind knows that you are single. You know what I'm talking about. But if you're married and you are lonely, it is so sad, because now everyone sees you as someone's wife, someone's husband, but in that house it's a really, really lonely place. And more so when kids are out in school, maybe they're in boarding school, or maybe you don't have kids, or maybe they're married and they're grown-ups, and now you are there with your spouse. And most of the time you find that if you get married because you got paged, like you got pregnant and then now you decided to get married, sometimes these marriages, they tend to evolve around the child, the coming baby and the pregnancy. You don't even have time to know one another. You don't have time to spend the two of you and really learn who the kind of a person you are, who you are dealing with. So you are there, of course the love is there because the baby is coming, you're busy shopping, going for clinics, and then the baby comes, and then after the baby comes, now it's the focus is on the baby. So after the baby number one, baby number two is here. So the two of you, you've never maybe have that time of sitting together and just having a discussion or knowing one another. And then after that, you find that when things go south, you are like, I don't know this person, because at the end of the day, you didn't have time even to bond. So I always say, even when you get married, this is my opinion, you just have to spend maybe some few months or 1 year or 2 or 3 or some years just to know one another, and just to find time and bond together, that when that child comes, now you know the person you are dealing with, you know how they do their stuff. You have scheduled your marriage, you know what to do. Maybe you have done some 1 2 3 investments, and you know where you are heading. Because most of us, when you are dating, we are tuko tu hapo juu ya mapenzi, akili fikiri vitu important, which is so bad. So that is the time where you need to discuss some things. But again, in this Kanairo, people are working. And I remember this guy was telling me, like, nowadays, even knowing someone is hard because everyone is busy. They're going to work. I don't know, on weekends they're doing what, on Sunday they go to church. So even finding that time to know someone, it's really, really hard. But I was challenging him that if you love something, you'll always create time for it. But he was telling me it is not enough. So at the end of the day, I want to encourage us, mahali tu wenye uko, whether you are married, whether you are single, whether you are a child, like a teenager, build memories with your family. Build memories, because at the end of the day, when we are old, we will not even remember what we conquered, the monies and the influence. We'll always remember the memories that we built. I was reading a book about the 5 top regrets of the dying, and I mean, this book has taught me a lot, because I've learned that the things that don't really matter, but us, we are busy chasing those things that don't really matter. And I've learned that when you are old, it is all about memories. People always remember how you make them feel. Your kids will be there for you, because when they were growing up, you were a present father, a present mother. Your kids will be there for you because you have memories together, and there are things that you instilled in these kids. I know we are busy chasing the bag and we want to leave our kids with a good inheritance, but if they don't know how to manage that money, if you did not have a culture of budgeting with your kids, if you don't have a culture of just discussing about finances, discussing about spirituality, discussing about life, what will your kids remember? What will your siblings remember about you? Kupika chapo hautaki. Family gathering, you are not there. And I want us to ask ourselves, if me and you die today, how will we be remembered? How will people talk when they hear your name being mentioned? What will people say when they hear your name being mentioned? Will they be like, so and so helped me, so and so? Because I even remember when we lost our grandma, people were saying a lot of things, good things about her. And we were like, okay, we thought she was our grandma, but she was a grandma to everyone. So build memories that even when you're not there, people will remember. And memories I'm talking about, they're not big things, small things. Spending time together, sharing that meal together, even if it's ugali na mboga, and you're there with your kids, and you're there with your siblings, and you're there with, your friends, and you're sharing that ugali and mboga, and you are having some conversation, and you are laughing, even if it's just listening to music and dancing together. My friends, such a mini mjaluo, lakini there are things that we need to do. Even if it's just dancing together with your children, with your spouse, even if it's doing some fitness, exercise, workouts. These are the things that stick to these kids' mind, and they will always remember those moments that you used to do some workouts. So don't say that, Maggie, I don't have money, I don't have that, I don't know, big house, or I don't have money to take my kids out. The small things that count so, so much. And we always ignore these things, but they count. To these kids, they count. If a child comes to your house and you give them a small piece of chapati, if they go back, they will tell their parents, nilikula chapati. That's what I'm trying to say. So there are little things that matter a lot, and they go a long, long way. So make sure that you have that memory that you can bank on, and you cannot remember memories that you did not build. So I challenge us that from today, build memories that you can remember, you can have fun, you can sit back when you are old, when you're in your 60s, when you're in your 50s, when you're in your 80s, and just have a conversation about remembering how you used to enjoy those days. If you have friends also, you can build memories with your friends, because when you are old now, you need people, even if you have your grandchildren there, but you need people around your age that you can think about what was happening when you're growing up. You can think about the things that you used to do together, and you can really, really relate. So thank you so much for watching, and my prayer is that we'll not focus on chasing money. but we'll build memories that will stick in our brains, because our brain, the only thing that our brain can remember is memories. That's why I've said you have the urge of having that big house. Once the house is there, your brain will normalize it like any other thing. And now you have to chase another thing, and then you have to chase another thing. But most of us, we get lost in chasing and chasing and chasing. And by the time we are there, we are rich, but we are depressed, we are lonely, and we don't have even anyone to share with what you are busy running after. And one of the regrets from the top 5 regrets of the dying is, I wish I didn't work so hard. So balance is key. So for now, bye bye.